Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by green hills and clear rivers, there lived a kind and wise king named Derick. He ruled the land with love and fairness. His beautiful wife, Queen Alina, stood by his side and helped him care for the people. Together, they were known as the best rulers the village had ever seen. King Derick and Queen Alina were so good to their people that the villagers loved them deeply. They shared food during times of hunger, gave shelter to the homeless, and listened to everyone's problems. No one in the land was left to suffer because the king and queen always made sure their people were happy and safe. Many villagers would say, "We wish King Derick could rule forever." The king and queen had only one child, a son named Prince John. From a young age, Prince John showed the same kindness and humility as his parents. He would often walk through the village, greeting people with a smile, helping the old carry water, and playing with the children. The people loved him just as much as they loved his parents. One sunny afternoon, while sitting in the royal garden, King Derick called his son for an important talk. "My dear son," the king said gently, "you are now a grown man. Your mother and I are proud of the man you've become. But there is something very important I must ask of you." Prince John sat beside his father and listened carefully. "You are our only child," the king continued. "It is time for you to find a wife, someone kind, strong, and able to give us grandchildren. We want our family to grow, and we want our people to have a new generation of leaders to look up to." Prince John nodded slowly. He understood the importance of what his father was saying. "Yes, father," he replied with a calm voice. "I will marry. I want to start a family, and I want to make you and mother proud." The king smiled warmly and placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "I want you to choose a bride from our village," he said. "There are many beautiful and good-hearted maidens here. A wife from our land will understand our people and share our ways." Prince John agreed. He knew his father's wisdom was true. "I promise, father," he said. "I will not delay. I will find a wife who will be a true queen, kind, loving, and strong." And with that, Prince John began to prepare for a journey through the village, where many surprises and adventures awaited him. Not long after their conversation, King Derick made an important announcement across the village. He sent messengers to every corner of the land, calling all the young maidens to the palace. The reason was clear. Prince John was ready to choose a wife, and the king wanted him to pick from among the daughters of their own people. When the day came, the palace was filled with excitement. Young maidens dressed in their finest clothes, wearing bright smiles and hopeful hearts, gathered in the royal courtyard. Some brought gifts of flowers and fruits, hoping to win the prince's heart. Music played, and laughter filled the air as the villagers celebrated the event. Prince John walked into the courtyard with calm steps. He greeted the maidens kindly and spoke to each one, listening to their voices and watching their smiles. They were all beautiful in their own ways, and many had kind hearts, but something was missing. Prince John did not feel the connection he was looking for. His heart did not choose any of them. Later that evening, Prince John sat with his father in the royal garden. "My son," King Derick said, "did any maiden catch your eye today?" Prince John shook his head slowly. "Father," he said gently, "they are all lovely and worthy, but I did not feel love for any of them. I want a wife I will truly love for the rest of my life. Please allow me to choose my bride in my own way, in my own time." The king looked at his son and saw the honesty in his eyes. He sighed but smiled. "Very well, my son," he said. "Follow your heart, but remember, choose wisely. Make your mother and me proud. We want a woman who will stand by your side with strength and kindness." Prince John bowed respectfully. "I promise, father, I will bring you a queen you will be proud of." And so, the search for a queen continued, but this time it was no longer inside the palace. Prince John rode out of the palace gates on his horse, determined to find a woman who would touch his heart deeply. As he traveled from village to village, word spread quickly that the prince was searching for a wife. Wherever he passed, young women came out dressed in bright colors, hoping to be chosen. Some followed him from town to town, singing and dancing to get his attention. Others stood boldly in his path, asking for his hand in marriage. But Prince John was not swayed. He smiled at them, thanked them for their kindness, but continued on his way. He was not looking for beauty alone. He was looking for love, true, honest, and lasting love. Some of the maidens even began to fight among themselves, each one believing she was the right match for the prince. They pulled at each other's dresses and shouted loudly in the streets, but Prince John kept riding. He did not stop, and he did not look back. His heart told him that the woman he was meant to marry was still out there waiting to be found, and so his journey continued. Where would he go next? Who would he meet? And when would he find the one? Only time would tell. One quiet afternoon, as the sun shone gently over the village, a group of villagers gathered around a poor young maiden named Anne. Anne was an orphan. She had no mother, no father, and no family. She lived all by herself in a small, broken hut at the edge of the village. Anne was born with a big head, and because of that, the villagers often made fun of her. They called her hurtful names and laughed whenever she walked by. Their cruel words made Anne cry many times, but she stayed quiet and gentle, never fighting back. On this day, the villagers were being especially mean. They surrounded Anne, mocking her loudly and throwing insults at her. Anne stood there with tears in her eyes, wishing she could disappear. Just then, Prince John was passing through the village on his horse. He heard the noise and stopped to see what was happening. When he saw the crowd, he pushed through and found Anne in the middle of it all, sad, alone, and being bullied. Prince John was furious. He raised his voice and shouted, "Stop this at once! How dare you mock her? Shame on all of you!" The villagers grew silent in shock. They stepped away, frightened by the prince's anger. Then, Prince John walked gently to Anne. He looked into her eyes with kindness and took her trembling hands. "You don't deserve this," he said softly. "You are not alone anymore. I'm here for you." Anne looked up at the prince in surprise. No one had ever spoken to her like that before, especially not someone like him. The prince took Anne home to the palace. He gave her food, clean clothes, and a warm place to stay. He made her feel safe and welcomed. That night, as they sat together in the royal garden, Anne told Prince John her story. She spoke of losing her parents when she was little, and how she had lived in loneliness and pain ever since. Prince John listened carefully, and his heart ached for her. From the moment he saw her being mocked, something had moved in his heart. He knew right away, this was the woman he had been looking for. "Anne," he said, taking her hand, "I fell in love with you the moment I saw you, not because of how you look, but because of who you are, kind, strong, and beautiful on the inside. I want you to be my wife." Anne was shocked. "Me? The prince wants to marry me?" "Yes," he smiled. "You are the one my heart has chosen." Tears of joy filled Anne's eyes. "Yes, I will marry you." The next day, Prince John took Anne to meet his parents. King Derick and Queen Alina looked at Anne and saw the same kindness their son had seen. They did not care about her appearance. All they saw was a gentle heart and a loving soul. "We welcome you, Anne," the king said with a smile. "You are one of us now." The palace was filled with celebration. Soon, the wedding was announced. People from all around the kingdom came to see the prince's bride. Many were shocked to see that the woman with the big head was the one the prince had chosen. But when they saw how happy Prince John was and how gracefully Anne carried herself, their hearts changed. They clapped and cheered, and the whole village came together to celebrate. The wedding was grand, filled with music, food, dancing, and joy. Friends, families, and even those who once mocked Anne now blessed her. From that day on, Prince John and Queen Anne lived happily ever after. They ruled with love, just like the king and queen before them, and the people learned a very important lesson. Moral of the story: never judge others by how they look. True beauty lies within the heart. Kindness, love, and strength are what truly matter. The person you laugh at today may be the one who shines the brightest tomorrow. Thank you, message. Thank you so much for listening to this beautiful story. I hope you enjoyed every part of it. If you love heart-touching and inspiring stories like this one, please subscribe to my channel, like, and share this video with your friends and family. There are many more stories coming your way, so make sure to stick around and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next story. Stay kind, stay loving, and always remember, real beauty comes from within.